All right, lads, we've got Newt versus Kenoli. Wait, I did that wrong. It's Newt, the eggshell blue Terran in the bottom right. Kenoli, the pumpkin Zerg in the top left. Let's see. Who's got the hotness? Who's got the good stuff here? It's going to be TVZ, and I'm interested in the outcome of this one. We have 4 replays here. I think there might be like Kenoli versus Newt twice and Kenoli versus Ramen twice, but we'll find out together. There's going to be a stockade coming, so Newt is going to go bio, and Kenoli is going to go ahead and make a Kagrin. Let me just briefly take a look at some of the changes here. Okay, interesting. I want to say that this might be before some adjustments to the Agrileth, so we might get to see some really silly Agrileth matches. This is Martyr's Ground, a map by the Shambler. We'll be evaluating it over the course of these 4 games to see if it is a fun time. I've also seen this map like way back when there was like a random tree in the middle of the terrain of the main base, and now there's a bush instead, which does block pathing, by the way. So, it blocks buildability, I mean. So I like that Shambler decided to change that. It blocks 1 less tile of buildability, or 2 less tiles. Stimmed Maverick is going to go ahead and give chase to Kenoli's Groleth. Forces out 2 stims, not bad. And here it is, lads. The first time we see Agrileths made in in a 1v1. So that guy turns into your structures and then pops back out afterwards. So that's why he went for it. This is before it was made to require a pool. So this is probably like one of the cases where we can see some of the Imba. I can't believe he's using a Droleth on the ramp. Like, I don't know what this is. I guess he scouts the enemy and then falls back and makes a Kagrin or something. Now, big problem I can see here is that Newt might not know it was an Agrileth, right? So it's going to pop out and maul his Maverick. It's not a great combatant, but it's not bad. Yeah, not quite, buddy. So what's he going to do? He's got a lot of Mavs. He's got a Vestry. He's going to probably go out with some Clerics. Probably good to go for like a bunch of Cyprians in this case as well. He's got the Vespene for it. And he also could go for a drop. Like, Kenoli's army is not going to do anything here right now. It looks like he's going to go ahead and expand with it. Hey, I mean, you know, as a Hive Defender type unit or something, it kind of is pretty neat. I like it better than the StarCraft 2 Queen, at least. He goes straight for the Calcure Lake, so this is probably going to be a Lyra rush. Newt gonna go ahead and play macro. Honorable. He's going for triple Shaman. That can help out a lot versus the bounces of the Lyralisks. Let's see if he can actually defeat what Kenoli is going for. One of the parts of this map I actually think are pretty interesting is the fact that it has these like 2 ramps that you can try to control. I think that is the only sane pathway into... Yeah, the other pathways are super long. It feels like a very big map, so it's kind of interesting there. He's going to have to cancel his Lyralisks on the front lines. So Newt hitting at a pretty reasonable time. Two quads just kind of slow in reinforcements, not really the end of the world, but that's pretty good for Kenoli. He will end up losing them at the end of the day, but all right. Oh, I think another thing I ended up doing at some point was it had more armor before, so... Yeah, let's just say the Mavericks here are going to annihilate it. Blowing the Shamans to heal even further. Stim no longer costs much of anything. Armor rended. The Agrileth pops. And the hatch is gone as well. Not too bad at all. Not too shabby. Oh, the Lyrilisks weren't even on an attack move. The quads left over are going to be enough to overwhelm this position, but that was really, really effective as an attack. And Kenoli even started panic building some Rilla Row cores just in case, you know. Shamans are going to get smashed. They probably wouldn't have escaped even if they had evacuated in the middle of that. But that was a lot of money gone. That's 300 of each resource gone, by the way. That's halfway to an Atlas. Just to put that into perspective. Newt making an Antseal. I think he's expecting a Xorkish Shroud follow-up. But now Kenoli has to make another Agrileth if he wants to build with them. Hey, what's up, Boris? Yeah, the Shamans are kind of like a heal bus, aren't they? Got about 10 quads in the front line. Plenty more Mavericks where that came from. And Newt is well ahead in terms of mining efficiency. But Kenoli has a pretty reasonable worker count to transfer down once that hatch finishes up. He is making more quads, but honestly, his army is very, very weak. And Newt could probably just move out from this position. A lot of money in the bank for Kenoli. We'll see what he wants to tech into as he starts to saturate his extra resources. I don't think I like this mineral formation. This resource alignment is not it for me. Main looks okay, but this is wonk. Wonk and whack. Workers are going to go all over the place trying to be efficient there. 2 quads on the ramps. Minimalist sort of scouting force. Lyrilisks have arrived in more force than before. And still plenty of money for Kenoli. He's not really spending it very well, but I guess that is his specialty. So there's going to be a lot of extra Hurricans out, and we did get to a couple more Shamans. Capping the ridges over here for Newt. Temporarily cutting into his Vespine income, but see what he wants to spend it on. Antseal's flying over. Army looks okay for Kenoli, but I don't think it'll beat what Newt has. Let's see if I'm wrong about that. I have noticed that sometimes Newt is a little bit slow at stimming. That could end up being impactful here. He pre-stimmed a single Maverick, so never mind. He'll show me. I'll stim 1 Maverick. And Kenoli is kind of getting the runaround over here. I do like that Newt is pushing in. He's trying to run over here before Kenoli can mass up his army. And so now he's going to run through the fire just in terms of getting over here. The Antseal's stacking in one spot. The Bio Army's not well A-moved. Antseals are slowly starting to lose their shields, but that was a lot of dead Zerg. Most of the Lyrilisks did get out, and we have Calculisks mutating on either side of this little gate here. And where's the reaction? Obviously, the Antseals are going to have all their energy drained almost immediately. They cycle back trying to get healed by the Shamans. They deploy a little bit late, but this still looks pretty reasonable for Newt so far. Oh, he's not really going to have the firepower versus air, I think. Yeah, that's where he's starting to fall down. I think, honestly, if he had isolated the army on this side, that would have been one thing. But instead, he kind of played right into what Kenoli was trying to do. Now, again, Kenoli has a ridiculous amount of extra money. So he's going to go ahead and try to expand towards 9 o'clock. The Bioforce has not been used super cost efficiently. Got a lot more Mavericks coming. Valkyrie's on the way, which brings a tear to my eye. I think Valks are pretty good in situations where you're facing a lot of units like Nathracors and Calculisks. But I say I think. I can't be confident in that. Not entirely sure just yet. The Watchdogs make sense as well to try to prevent a fly-in. We already have some Calculisks massing up towards 6 o'clock trying to see if they can't wrap back in. And there it is. 9 o'clock on location, guarding 3, making sure no extra bases there. I love the random 10-sender. At what point would this ever come in handy? I don't know. Atlas is finished. What is Newt going to do now? Making a lot of clerics. Starports. What does he want to do with the starport? Wyvern? Wyvern could be really good versus the ground army, but he still needs to do something versus the air. I guess if he gets sufficient quantities of Valkyrie. He's only got 1 star pad making them, though, so it does feel a little bit under strength there. What's going on, Adam? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I feel like we're going to get to a critical mass of Calcs pretty soon because 11 of them are about to pop. And Newt is making Cyprians, which I really respect. I think that's a great choice. He is very vulnerable to air attacks after scouting the calcs. And he's not really scouting on the map elsewhere. He's got ant seals he could fly around. The Valks themselves could try to fly around. So the ground army is going to distract, but the Cyprians really needed to be inside the main base, and they are not. So the starport finishes at the very least, and the Watchdog is going to be focused down, but he's got to respect the ground push as well. And the Valkyrie doesn't fly in, so he's only got 2 Valks over here. We'll keep tabs on the Calculus HP amount. Oh my god, it's a massacre of the workers. I think this is also before the Valk buff with their weapon range, yeah. Not quite sure. Yeah, they're softening them up now. Unfortunately, it's after all the Masons got massacred, so it triggers an all-in attack. Newt needs to push forward. We got Lake is morphing. There is still... No, there's not ant seals. Okay, that's a critical thing here, is that the detection is gone. He's making his Masons back again. He's got so many resources tied up in there. Lots of static defense, lots more Lyrilisks. He needs to arrive now with the stims. And there's the ant seals. Okay, we did find them. They're going to be important in clearing out the Lake is. Valks are also here in case there's any more anti-air, but that's definitely not coming. First Lake is arriving. The Lyrilisks finish up. They can try to focus down the ant seals anytime they want to. Yeah, I think this is just a massacre here. Newt has been outmaneuvered, shall we say. I don't know why he made the Cyprians, which would have been a great choice versus the air stack before. But, like, he did that knowing that the air was there. Didn't really scout. His ministry's been off-center this whole game as well at the natural, which hasn't helped his economy. And I know he's got tier 2. He's not technically dead yet. I think in this point, you definitely move the Valkyries in different locations. This base is naked. He could punish that really heavily, but he's not going to just yet. In fact, thinking about the long game, if he shuts down 9 o'clock, he has a chance in this game, albeit slim, because of the fact that he has tier 2. And so you can definitely make a lot of that used, but he never scouted until just now, right? Ah, so close to getting another worker kill. It only took all the Masons to make Valkyries look useful. Yeah. Well, they're going to come back in for seconds. I think any worker damage at this point is intolerable for sure. And it looks like they just... I like when Newt is like... Or later on, he mentioned that Valks suck. And I was wondering what the context was, but he was actually talking about versus Protoss. Oh no, he was talking about versus Arcaver cores. Never mind. So that's not really where they would supposedly excel anyway. But I do find it really funny that the use case I've seen them in so far, right time, but maybe not the greatest execution. It's a good time to bring them out. Yeah, keeping this third base up this whole time, affording all these Lakes and Zoryus. I guess Kenoli might actually be Quasman. Seraph drops in a Radiate. He's making another one. You know, Seraphs are pretty neat. Honestly, though, I wouldn't mind, like, Seraph Azazel. Like, a couple of Azazels to dematrix your ant seals would probably go very, very nicely. I feel like this is a temporary annoyance, but hey, at least he can irradiate the worker line. Yeah, shut down mining real quick. Not bad. What's up, Vilius? Welcome to the chat. "20 Nathracores, the new Scourge." Oh man, that's evil. Kenoli actually doesn't have that many workers. Newt's about to eclipse him in worker count. Oh no! He tried to irradiate himself. And it did work, I guess, but the Naths will stay alive narrowly. Well, we are going to get that Ulgorg finished up back at home. So we are going to see some Ultra Cores come out. This does force the Lakers back and allow maybe the Bio Army to have a look in. I think this is kind of weird that Newt is in a position like this, where this is what he needs to do. Eesh. Okay, good irradiate. He's still keeping things going. We've got some clerics as well to help heal up these units that have taken some splash. Once the surround comes in, though, it doesn't really seem like... I just can't imagine Newt staying alive. He's going to stack up some attack speed back at home. Is he going to start pulling away? I mean, his ground army is under attack. His Seraphs are not getting their casts off. That's a big whiff. He could have had multiple irradiates in the middle of this fight, but I don't know that it would have mattered as he disengaged in the middle of it all. Jeez. The full total surround, and Newt is down to his last unit, a Seraph. Hey, that's really good value. I don't think Mavs are tit. No, I think they're all men in Cosmonarchy, but that's okay. That's a wrap on that. And would you know it, GG. Kenoli will take the game. Not what I expected, but that's just how it is sometimes.